Hey all, I'm from Hummy's World and I want to share with you how to utilize the layer styles that I have created, made easy for Photoshop Elements users. Now I've had this idea hit me upside the head I don't know how many times, and I finally have taken action on it before I've forgotten the idea again. For Photoshop Elements users, you can be provided a .asl file and install it. However, from working with teaching people in my forums, I've watched over and over again the less computer savvy people struggle with installing those layer styles. It can be very intimidating to be turning on your visible folders and dropping a file in there and deleting another file just to install the layer styles and waiting for that media database file to reload. And even for us computer savvy people, I mean, even for me, I don't like installing layer styles. It just takes too long. And then it bogs down Photoshop Elements. When you first open up Photoshop Elements, it will take a long time to load, and this is in conjunction with everything else like actions and fonts that you may have installed. And if you have too much installed and you don't have enough RAM, the Photoshop Elements will just crash on you. And so you can hardly develop a collection of layer styles when you're afraid to install them. So I've recently been learning and have shared some of my first layer styles. I'm learning by play, and I'm going to switch and I'm going to begin giving them out as .psd files. It makes much more sense to me. It might be a little bit larger file on your computer, but I know with digital scrapbookers, they've got their, external hard drive after external hard drive of space, and so a little bit more space isn't going to matter that much to them, especially when it makes it something very usable. So here is my first layer style that I'm sharing in PSD format. I'm going to have to go back and redo all of mine this way, I think. You can see it's kind of got a metal border and kind of a brown center. I want to try to make all of my layer styles more toward the gray scale, and that way you can recolor them, and I'll show you how to do that. I, in this file, put a little bit of instructions. And it's so easy to use them this way. You just simply open your layer style file that I'm providing you and your layout. You can see I got my layout tab here. And then you right click on the layer and copy the layer style. And then go to the layout, right click and paste. It's that simple. So in this file I have two layers that have the layer style on them. One is the text and one is the square, just to share with you what it looks like in a little bit larger format. And you can click on either one of them, right click and scroll down and choose copy layer style. Now here's the layout I'm working on. I've got a long way to go on it, I think. And here's the title that I'm working on. My dear husband was outside practicing for the polar bear plunge. He's such a goofy guy. They were raising money, and by going into the lake, I'm sure if you go on YouTube and Google it, you'll see what it's all about. So here is my layer with my text that I want to apply the layer style to. So I'm going to right click and choose paste layer style, and just like that it's in there. So it's simply right click, copy, go to your layout, make sure the layer you want to apply it to as the active layer, right click and paste, and it's in there. Now, there are so many ways that you can continue to edit and play with these, even if you've used them and installed them the hard way. And I've shared all of these things in the forum under the Fun Extras class or throughout Course 2. You'll find these tips used from time to time, but I'm going to share them again for you. I have a couple of ideas right here, or one anyway. Use a hue and saturation adjustment layer to change the color. You simplify first, that's an important step. You simplify the layer with the layer style on it. Then you can group the hue and saturation adjustment layer with whatever you've applied the layer style to by hitting Control G, and then play with the blending modes. This is how you're going to be changing colors. And so I like to always keep a backup of this if I'm going to be simplifying. So I'm going to hit Control J on my keyboard to duplicate this layer. I'm going to click on the eye to make this one invisible, because I'm just tucking this layer aside in case I want to start over again. I'm going to go to my copy. I'm going to right click and simplify this layer. And now you can see the layer style setting icon is gone. That means that this is permanently into this layer. I'm going to get the new adjustment layer by clicking on the icon for it and then choosing hue and saturation. And then my box pops up. In 8 and 9, I think it is, it pops up here in the layers palette. In other versions, it's a little pop-up box. And I click colorize. Now you see it's colored the whole thing, it's tinted the whole thing. But I'm going to choose a color like, let's say, blue, and I can, move my saturation, because blue is kind of like a polar bear cold color. And then, and this is acting really funky, I'm going to close that tab. Then I'm going to simply hit Control G, and it groups it with just the layer that's below it, which is my text layer, so that it doesn't apply on the rest of the things. See, my husband's face is no longer blue. Now if I want to adjust this to yet another color, I'm going to click on this little gear icon thumbnail in the layers palette, and it opens this adjustment back up, and I can go ahead and move these sliders once again. Maybe I wanted it green, or maybe I wanted it more saturated but darker, whatever works. And so I am going to click the invisibility layer just so you can see the before and after. And so that's how you can change colors pretty easily. Let's turn off both those layers and get this original one back. And there are a lot of other things that you can do with layer styles to change them. You can do a whole lot more in the full version of Photoshop, but there's still a lot that you can do right here in Photoshop Elements. So double click on this FX to open up the style settings. And the ones with the check mark in it are the ones that I've utilized to create this. And if you want, you can just uncheck one of them to see what it does to take it away and to put it back. And so maybe this drop shadow you want a little bit higher and a little bit more, and maybe you want to change the color of it. Let's drop it down a little bit. And so see, you can still make those changes right here. The glow, see, we can remove it to see what happens and put it back. It just basically makes it a little bit darker. And you can change the glow. Ooh, see, that made a cool black text. You can see that this glow is a blue that I've chosen. Maybe you would want to apply another color. Well, that's kind of a gray. to see if it happened. Ooh, there's a green. That's a way to turn the middle to green. So, yeah. So that works. And if you want to change the bevel, you take it off. You see it looks pretty boring. You put it back on and move it up. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. That's kind of like almost a crystal jewelry kind of effect. So fun and different. So you can change the bevel to whatever you want. And the stroke, you take that off, you can see there's a whole new effect, and you put that back on. If you want to change the color of the stroke, maybe to a blue, dark blue, before, after, you can just increase the stroke. Oh, when I increase it, it kind of gets like a clear, whole thing clear. So there are so many different things that you can do just playing around with the settings in here. I'm going to click cancel though. And there's one other area that you can go to change some settings on layer styles to just play. We love playing. That's what's so addictive of this hobby. We love playing. If you go to the layer drop down menu, layer styles, and scale effects, and then just move the slider, you're going to see you get different effects. I kind of like that one. Go all the way up, we get kind of that crystally look again. Come all the way, let's go below 100% and see if we get a whole different look and feel. And the scaling might be important if you were applying it on something much larger. So let's say you were applying it, let's make a new layer, and just randomly I'm going to make a big box, fill it in, so that I can right click and paste that layer style. And here's what it looks like. Not as much fun on something larger, but I can go in here to the scale effects and maybe change it. See, it looks a little bit better on a larger element when I scale it, the effect up. And you can still go in here and make these changes. Whoa. Boy, that's pretty cool when when that stroke is kind of clear. You go all the way up, and yeah, it doesn't work as well when you go all the way up here. So there we have it. Something different for a much larger size element. And so I hope you've enjoyed learning how to use these, and I'm going to be hopefully, as time provides, sharing a whole lot more layer styles as I play around. Yes, I love playing and learning all about layer styles. This one was pretty cool. It's not a metal around the outside, it's more like a clear plastic. I don't know what to call these layer styles because yeah, I don't really know what they are. They're going to be whatever I play with, and I'm going to just start labeling them 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I decided, rather than trying to come up with creative names for them. And what I'm going to do is provide you with a copy of this here as a preview in JPEG, so that you can go through all of the JPEGs easily and choose which one you want to open up. So there you have it. And please share with me if you use any of the files that I share with you. And I look forward to seeing you around the forum. All of these files are going to be available in the forum in this paid subscriber area. It's only $5.50 a month. There's hundreds of downloads, hundreds of videos that you can watch to learn, and it's a lot of fun. We enjoy watching everybody learn and just get their pages scrapped. So see you around. Bye.